It's about $5,000 lower price, but it's about $2,000 more expensive versus last week, right? If we count the fact that there's a fairly substantial $7,500 credit that many buyers are not eligible for. So it's going to be a lot like your dad's old car, where you do have to stick your hand out the window if you are going for this base model. But what it really does show us is that Tesla's doing whatever it can to address the lower end of their market, right? The buyers that are more price conscious, more cost conscious, while preserving the margins for the company, preserving the profit profile. So they're doing what they can to accommodate the expiry of this credit, while still serving the longer term demand.
You know, cars like the Y, and we were just talking about BMW cutting full year guidance as well. Their equivalent would probably be, I think they've got a 1 Series, right? Cars like this, they're known as loss leaders in the auto industry. And it's meant to basically try and get an automaker or a brand to help an automaker or brand gain traction, gain access, etc. You talked about margins, right? As they continue being forced to decontent, right? Is Tesla going to be able to protect its margins? I mean, at one point they were like, they were pretty sick. They were very attractive.
Yeah, and the margins have been under a lot of pressure, but remember last quarter they beat by about 150 basis points. So with the 50,000 units plus an upside this quarter, margins will probably be very strong again. I wouldn't be surprised to see another 50, 100 basis point beat on margins. What they're doing today is going to impact the fourth quarter. So, potential for margins continue to be, at similar levels to what they print in the third quarter, I think is going to be pretty good. Margins matter, right? Tesla's, it's a hopes and dreams stock. So everybody's looking at Optimus and AI and, Robotaxi, but, what they do for the next several quarters with their EV business is going to matter. And, they're running this like a car company. They're not running this as a loss leader. They're running this business to meet expectations and drive profitability while growing the market.
So talking about markets, Craig, I mean, the Chinese EV brands, they are not in the U.S. At least yet, although I think there's some Chinese EV commercial vehicles running around in the U.S., but certainly not sedans or passenger cars. But in markets like Europe, where Tesla is under pressure, in markets like China, the all-important, crucial China market, where Tesla is under intense pressure, how are they going to hold on to margins when, for the Chinese EV makers, right, their business model is not about margins, it's not even about profitability, it's about market share?
Yeah, some of those Chinese EVs are really, really great cars. I mean, I drove the Lotus Evora here in New York City, and man, that is a cool car. And it's, nicer car than the Lamborghini SUV for close to half the price, which is insane, right? So the Tesla buyers internationally will be buying Tesla for the brand. So Musk has built an incredible brand. But the Chinese EVs are very credible. They're good cars. They do know how to make very inexpensive cars. So, what is it? The BYD Seagull? Yeah, I've tried to get Stella to arrange a test drive for me out in LA, but it hasn't happened yet. But there's some really interesting sort of global plays in EVs that China's offering, and Tesla's competing well. They're competing on brand, which is what you would want them to do. Is what's going to allow them to drive profitability. But they are really focused on the longer term, and I think that's what's going to revolve around the emerging businesses. Optimus, the hopes and dreams there are incredible, right? 30 million units is what they're talking to the supply chain about. Cybertruck was a little bit of a dud, but the Robotaxi looks like it's taken off. You could have a couple dozen cities by this time next year. Waymo's got 3 monkeys in the back seat, right? They got 3 teleoperation engineers typically per vehicle. That's 3 drivers. Tesla's got to be able to do better than that. So Tesla's got a great business. Don't count them out. I think Tesla's in for a pretty interesting run, and the EV business you'll be surprised. I think it's going to be stable for the next several quarters.
Okay.
I love how you keep calling Tesla a hopes and dreams stock. And I wonder, outside of the U.S. market, how much of that actually works, especially when it comes to competing with some of the Chinese competitors that you're also a big fan of?
Yeah, no, so the vehicles themselves, Tesla's vehicles are great, as are the Chinese vehicles, right? And the price difference is really the most material thing that I would point to. So, the homologation and the safety features, there's a wide range of content on vehicles, right? So, it's not
Mm,
always an easy apples to apples comparison. So, what the equity investors in Tesla are interested in today is really the forward-looking business, the long-term opportunities in AI, in robotics, in fully autonomous vehicles, cyber taxi, robotaxi. And that's really where I think most of the value is being ascribed by the equity investors right now. So when I say hopes and dream stocks, it's a large cap stock. I mean, it's one of the largest, but it also behaves like an emerging growth stock because of the tremendous longer term opportunity. In the short term, though, the EV business does drive the quarterly results. It does drive, the cash flow that allows them to invest. And yeah, the competition
mm,
versus all the global brands. Let's not forget BMW, General Motors, Ford, all these guys are retrenching for the market, right? Because they were building compliance cars to go and grab the subsidy. Basically,
mm,
that's it. And to satisfy demands of an administration that was pro EV, right? Musk may be
mm,
friends with Trump, but Trump's not pro EV. All the other guys are going to be dropping out of the market. They're going to be stepping back. The market's going to mix towards Tesla in the U.S. and Europe. Not China, right? China's going to be brand driven. But Tesla's going to do well. They're going to be a leader. They're going to be an even stronger leader than those that are chasing them. And these other
mm.
businesses are really what equity investors are most focused on these days.